Welcome back to the Something Cafe. Did you bring your cup? Did you bring it? I know I did. That right there is one of them hitters. A little Mitra 9 and a Monster Energy drink. Perhaps I'm down one Monster Energy drink because Lars might have drank one whole can because that boy will not stop moving. I have a good collection of cardboard boxes that I've been saving up to take out to the dumpster, and Lars is in love with that art piece that I have created. Alright. And I believe he's practicing to fight Mayweather because he is just going at those boxes, but who wouldn't? Welcome back to the Something Cafe. If you don't know me or Lars, maybe this is your first episode. You think to yourself, well, this is a new podcast. What episode am I going to choose to tune in on? Well, there's 5 episodes. Brother, I'm going to start on episode 5. Maybe that's you. Alright? Maybe that's you, you little love nugget. Alright? Maybe that's you. If that is you, my name is Celestino Dooley. Yes, you may have heard of me. I am the infamous overweight 21-year-old who lives on the East Coast podcaster with 30 listeners. My name gets tossed around. I do music too, but I mean, who cares about that? Come on, brother. I'm the podcaster, you know? Who am I kidding? We got Lars in here. Lars is my cat, not my handicapped roommate. He is handicapped in the brain a little. That brother's got a little less salt on his chicken, if you know what I mean. He's a little special up there. But that's alright. Aren't we all? I have this collection of Pokemon Funko Pop little figures. And he killed one of them. That's murder. Alright? That's murder right there. And I just heard him open up the toilet seat, and I'm not joking. Lars loves the toilet. Every time I go there to expel of the sacred lemonade, Lars just jumps in the toilet bowl. At that point, I have to cut off my flow, you know? Which is hard, you know? That boy's special up there, man. I had to start shutting the door to go use the bathroom because I'm afraid he'll drown. Roll that up and smoke it, huh? But yeah, this is episode 5 of the Something Cafe. We're still going. I love it. I love doing this. I look forward to it a lot more than making music. If you know me, then you know that's an odd thing for you to hear. I don't know, man. I'm in a spot right now in my life where I don't know what I want to do. I don't. On one hand, I have everything set. I have a great job. I have my own place. I'm paying for everything. I have friends. I do social things, right? And then on the other hand, all I can think about is is how I'm supposed to be doing music. And that beats everything. You know? That beats everything. It's hard. It really is, man. And I don't know what to do with it. You know? I'm 21 years old. And you could ask yourself, would you rather be ignorant to the anxiety or aware to the anxiety, right? I think we should think about that. Think about that as it pertains to yourself right now. What anxiety are you dealing with? What anxiety are you dealing with? And think about it like this. There are 3 states of living that you could be in right now. You can only be in one, but there are 3 options. Option 1 is that you are oblivious to the anxiety. You're ignorant to it. And there's nothing wrong with that, right? To be ignorant to your anxiety. Some might say that's a good thing, because you're not aware of it. I wish I wasn't aware of mine. But does that mean it's better? Right? Does that mean it's better? Option 2 is you are aware of the anxiety. That one's hard. That's the one I'm in. But the benefit is it's there. Being ignorant to the anxiety is like being surrounded by 15 ninjas and not knowing they're there, and you're living your life happily. And you won't know when they strike, but you don't know that they're even there, so you're happy. Being aware of the anxiety is like being surrounded by 15 ninjas. But they're there all the time. And you know that they can attack you at any time. But you're grateful that you know rather than not know, because maybe, just maybe, you'll be prepared for it. Maybe, just maybe, you'll be prepared for it. I'm going to push Lars off of the piano. Just one second. Okay. The third state is a simple state of living. First, you have ignorant to the anxiety. Then you have aware to the anxiety. And the third state is death. And that's true. Death. You're either one of the first two or you're dead. Because I truly believe that humans can't live any way other than that. I'm not saying it's a way of living, that none of this should consume you, but it can. It certainly can. Which one are you in, right? Think about that. Not trying to make you scared, I think it's actually a rather humbling thing to think about where you're at. And what feels even better is to think about where you were at. Right? Where were you 2 years ago? Where were you during COVID? Right? What point were you at? I'll tell you, COVID was my lowest point. Are you kidding me? I got the book thrown at me. Brother. Broke up with my first ever girlfriend that I was addicted to. Stuck inside as a social kid with anxiety and suicidal thoughts. Couldn't leave the house and was eating himself to obesity. Couldn't go to school to distract himself. And was getting bad grades. I got the book thrown at me, man. Are you kidding me? Got the book thrown at me. But the funny thing is about that is that if it wasn't for COVID, I wouldn't be where I am today. Isn't that funny? If it wasn't for all of that, I wouldn't be sitting here. Think about it. Was that the hardest time in my life? Yeah, you bet your little itty bitty, you bet your little gorgeous belly button it was. Uh, but it changed me for the best. Not even for the better, but for the best. Um, it was a lot. And throughout that, I was at my lowest to the point of just breaking, splitting in half. But what I learned from that is I learned what to call it, right? I learned what to call it because if I've learned anything from therapy, it's that every emotion should be labeled or identified, no matter what it is, no matter how it started, no matter where it came from. Every emotion should be identified. Um, and I called it character development. That's what I called it. I watch a lot of anime, like other losers do, and you know, or any show, any movie, the main character has to go through something to get to somewhere, right? And we call that character development in film. Why not call it character development in life? I'm 21 years old and I'm realizing this. Some people learn it a whole lot later. Some people learn it a whole lot earlier, depending on their circumstance. But here I am. And think about where you were during COVID. I like to think that you're in a better spot. Even if you don't believe it, I think you are. I think you can cut yourself some slack. But I'm a hypocrite. I'm a big, I'm a big hypocrite. Because I say all this, but I don't even believe it myself. You know? I don't even believe it myself. Not one bit. I would die by this advice, but I can't even believe it myself. Why is that? Is it because I think I'm special? No. No, I don't think I'm special. I just think I'm somewhere in my brain, the part of the brain that I have to take my medication to fix. Somewhere part of my brain just says to itself, yeah, that's great advice, but for some reason it does not pertain to you. Why is that? I'm fighting that battle. Well, what are you going to do, I just, it's just some more luggage that I have to carry around day to day. Um, the reason I brought this all up is because, like I said at the beginning, right? The life I'm living right now, you can look at it in two ways. The first way is, like I said earlier, man, I'm my own man. I've got my own place. I have a great job. Blah, 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 all that crap. The other hand, all I can think about is how I'm not doing music and if it's even what I want to do. Why is that such a hard thought? I'll 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 tell you why. Um because when you're conditioned to believe something for 21 years, it becomes more than just a belief or a thought. It becomes your existence. And my existence has always been music. And the single thought of straying away from that makes me feel like a failure. Who's to say though? I could be the only one in the world that says I'm a failure, but yet I'll believe it more if 100 people were saying that I wasn't. Isn't that funny? Isn't that funny? You know how that works? Because our life isn't our own life, you know? Our life is God's. I don't care if you believe in Him or not. I just care that you find Him in some way. Lord knows I'm still trying to find Him, you know? Lord knows I'm still trying to find Him. Find that heavenly being. But that's where we're at. And I'm not sad about it. I've gotten to the point where I think I've become a little callous. Yeah. I think I've become a little callous to it because mental anguish has been occurring within me for so long that I've just become numb to it. Little intense, isn't it? You know? But that's life. And who am I to say? I'm 21 years old. Who am I to say sitting here on a podcast of my own that that's life? I don't know what's life. I don't think anybody does. But I'll be damned if I can't figure it out, you know? I'm trying. I don't know, man. Part of me is just happy just living. And I don't want to settle, right? I don't just want to become the 9 to 5 robot. Clearly, I'm not. Even having, if the only thing I had was this podcast, I would still be beating that expectation. Is there anything wrong with becoming the 9 to 5 robot? Inherently, no, but that's not what I want to do. I just want to do creative things my entire life. I just don't know where music falls into that. I'm sure it'll always be a part of it, but is it going to be the main thing? I don't know. I don't know. But, I'm really happy not worrying about music. And I'm really anxious and really stressed and very depressive when I am thinking about music. Why is that, you might ask? Especially if you know me personally. You ask yourself, why does he think that? I don't know. But why am I feeling why do I think I need to fill your expectation? Right? Why should I have to fill the expectation of 100 people when it doesn't make me happy? Think about that with yourself. Is there anything that does that happen to you? There's something going on that you think to yourself that this is exactly what's going on with you? Let me know. I don't think I'm the only one, but shoot, man, sometimes it feels like it. But that's just real, man. That's real. Um, Stop trying to please people, man. I'm in no position to be saying that. But I'd like to think I'm getting close. I'd like to think I'm getting close to that. I'd like to get there. I'd like to think I've matured a lot. Man, if you knew me back in high school, heck, if you knew me in college, I'd like to think that you recognize how much I've matured. And I have a long ways to go. I'm 21. People say that the brain doesn't stop developing until it's 25. I don't believe in that. I think the brain stops developing when it turns off. I think the brain stops developing when you're dead. You can't tell me that someone just stops learning, right? That's where we're at. That's the update. And what am I doing about it now? Brother, I'm waking up. I'm going to work. I'm making that money. I'm coming home. Maybe play some video games. Work on the podcast. Make content for it and promo and stuff like that. I mean, isn't that enough? You know? I could be useless. I could be useless with no job, relying off of people that aren't me, with no ambitions and no dreams. I'm not that. Sometimes I feel like it, you know? Sometimes I feel like it. And that's just a twisted game that we like to play with ourselves. And you want to know why I think that is because humans crave identity. And this is something that I came up with myself. This is a thought that I, by myself, came to realize. I didn't read this somewhere, but I believe humans crave identity. That's why we wear the clothes we wear, because it identifies you. That's why we date the people that we date. That's why we like the music that we like. There is an identity to it. Our job title, our role in a family, being a mother, being a father, anything. Humans crave identity. And the funny thing is, what I've realized up to this point is that you can find identity in the positive things, obviously. Find identity in a new job, identity in putting out a new song, identity in, losing those 10 pounds, right? But what I bet you didn't think of is that I believe you can find identity in the negative equally, if not easier. If not easier. You find identity in the 10 pounds that you gained. You find identity in that person making fun of you. You find identity in that thought that eats your brain alive. Right? I believe that. And because humans crave identity so much, if we don't have anything positive to identify with, then we would rather identify with the negative rather than just being at a neutral state. That's what I came to realize in my own life. Is it true? I do music. I don't know. I'm not a scientist. But I sure as heck believe it. But there could be some older people listening to this thinking, man, this dude's stupid. You know? What does he know? I don't even know myself. That's where we're at, guys. Feels good talking about it. You know? It feels good talking about it. Maybe it feels good listening to it. I don't know. Was that the best way? Was that the best topic to start a podcast? Probably not. But you'd be lying to yourself if you would be lying to yourself if you said that this stuff doesn't come up in your own life. And maybe that little rant, maybe that little that little discussion, maybe that helped you a little bit. And if it did, brother, then I'm happy. There's a light rain out today, and I dig it, man. I dig it. I love a little rain, especially in Florida. I didn't have a lot of topics for today. I really didn't. I went to an arcade, on Wednesday. That was fun. That place was awesome. It's called Arcade Monsters or Monsters Arcade. That place was awesome. They had like 20 of the most elaborate, intricate pinball machines I've ever seen. Um, I played Dance Dance Revolution for the first time, and I killed it. Oh, I'm a bigger guy, but you put me on them four arrows, brother. I'm about to butter that bread. I'm about to butter that bread with your sorry little feet, because my feet are coming in, and my feet are hot. I killed it on that thing, man. I danced because at first my friend was like, come play Dance Dance Revolution." I was like, "No, that sounds like too much work." Mm. She had to rip me off of it because I wanted to keep going. It was her idea, and she wanted to leave early. I said, "No, no, 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 no. You got us here. You're dancing with me, and I'm gonna beat you." And I beat her every single game. And that person was Brittany, the guest of episode 3. Eat it, Brittany. Eat it. My fast little feather feet. The game at the end of each song told us how many calories we burned, and in total, we burned off 3 tangerines and a handful of peanuts. Am I not amazing? For that, we take a sip. Salud. Oh man, the arcade was so much fun, guys. I was a little nervous going into it, but man, that was so. They had so many cool games. They had Guitar Hero. I was killing it on that, and then I found Gitadora, Japanese line of rhythm-based arcade cabinets, arcade games, made by Konami or Bandai Namco, if you know those companies. When I first looked at it, I thought to myself, this is just a Guitar Hero ripoff, right? Like it had the guitar and it had the same buttons. But when I looked in it, it was all anime songs. Oh, are you joking me? Are you pulling my fuzzy little leg? It was all anime songs. Dude, I think I spent 30 minutes on that machine. That was awesome. Just all of the anime music from my favorite shows, just playing it. And then they had a drum one. It was a full drum kit, but it was Guitar Hero but with drums, and it was all anime songs again. It was hard to choose the songs I wanted to do because the one downside about it is that there was not a single letter of English in that entire game. So I just kind of just kept pressing stuff until I got there. But damn it, was it not fun, man. That stuff was awesome. They had a Taiko arcade game, giant arcade machine with 2 Taiko drums. If you don't know what a taiko drum is, it's the traditional Japanese drum with the 2 sticks. Oh, dude, that stuff was awesome. They had an arcade cabinet for every old school game. Cubert, Pac-Man, Galaga, but their own individual cabinets, right? Because you can have those arcade cabinets where it's like 50 games in one. I mean, that's cool, but it's just having the single cabinet for that single game. That's just classy. You know what I mean? That's just classy, man. Um, Air hockey was awesome. There was a couple of those games where you sat inside the booth and shot guns. Um, some racing games. Uh, man, that was fun. And I bought alcohol for the first time. I'm usually I don't indulge in alcohol. You would know this if you heard the previous episodes. I instead of alcohol, I put whatever money that would go into alcohol, I put into the botanical substances like kratom and kava. I don't like alcohol really. I don't like how it makes me feel sometimes. I don't like how it tastes. Especially don't like how it tastes. Are you joking me? Um but they had some awesome alcohol there. And I got alcoholic cider. That was so much fun. I've never drank in public like that ever. Like I probably had two beers. I was chilling. I was chilling. Cause I'm a lightweight, you know? Two beers, I'm in a good place. I had one Angry Orchard, and and then I went to go get a second Angry Orchard, and then she she recommended one that was actually $1 less, and it was like 3% more of alcohol level. I don't know what it's called, but it was like a Japanese cider. I mean, dude, just give it to me, dude. Stop selling it. I love weird stuff, man. My rule whenever I go to a restaurant with a menu is I look for the thing that's the hardest to pronounce. And brother, oh, mama, that's mine. Come here. Give me that watashi shabadabu. Give me that. Let me eat it and let me love it. Let me love it. Because I know I will. I know I will. And she gave me this Japanese hard cider. Brother, that thing was gone in a couple of seconds. Very tasty. Very, very tasty. And that was a freedom I have not experienced yet. Obviously, I've drank in public to the extent of a party, right? But that's not really public. I've never drank, I've never had alcohol at a place, that was selling it like that, like an arcade or a sports game or a movie theater. So that was fun. I felt free, Um, but Celestino, you've been 21 since August. I know, but like I said, I don't really enjoy alcohol that much. But it was there, and my friend had gotten it. She let me have a little sip, and I was like, you know what? Let me go be the American 21-year-old adult that I am, and I'm gonna go buy me one of them good old Pilsner, or Pilsner. Let me go buy a little bit of that lager. All right. Let me go buy a little bit of that foam duois. That Coupe de la Brewski. Wonderful feeling. Wonderful feeling. Because I was drinking beer and playing a racing game. That felt illegal. That felt illegal. But damn, it was it fun. Oh, that was fun. I had a great time. I don't do a lot of social things, guys. I just don't. I'm a very social guy. I was very popular in high school. I was popular in college. Not in the popular sense of ego, just I knew how to I, you know, I'm a good I'm a good talker. And I love people. I don't judge. And if I can get to know someone no matter who they are, if they're a freaking crazy atheist whatever, dude, like come here. Come here, let me be. I want to be your friend. And I'm going to hug you. Come here. That's just me. I love people, man. I love people. Um I have a weird thing in my head that makes me think people don't love me, but I love people. And but I say that because it's weird that I don't do a lot of social things. I think it's because I'm a little stubborn. I don't like planning things. And man, this is a real episode, guys. We're getting into the mind of Celestino Dooley. You want to know why I don't like planning things? Because when I was younger, when I was much littler, when I was a kid, I tried to plan things and rarely did people like come or want to hang out. And that gave me a lot of anxiety, a little bit of social trauma because I believed right then and there that why would anyone want to hang out with me? No one wants to. And yeah, that's why I just let my other friends plan things and I tag along. I'm weird like that, guys. I'm a very simple man. I live a very simple life. But I really like it. Um, and I'm stupid enough to think that I would want a girlfriend to sabotage that. You know? Crazy. But yeah, the arcade was freaking fun. That place was awesome. That place was awesome. I fell in love about 12 times in there. Just cute, chubby girls playing arcade games. I'm like, come on. Let's get married. Come on. Church is down the street. Man, that was awesome. But yeah, that was really fun. I had a really good Wednesday night. Um yeah, I like I said, I don't have a lot to talk about, but because of that, I did a little digging. I did a little, you could say, excavation. And I went to my notes app. And my notes app is a magical place. It really is. Let me read you off the tabs I have in my notes. First, we have notes. We have something cafe. These are folders, right? So there are more notes in these folders. Notes, something cafe, which just has like the hashtags I can copy and paste, show notes, stuff like that. I have jobs. All the jobs that I applied for that I never got and never heard back from, which makes me feel good looking back at that folder. Not. I have lists. Media to consume, backing tracks, ideas in all caps, school notes from college, and lyrics. So I thought maybe we could just go through some of these and see what we can dig up. So let me see. In my notes folder, I have 5 notes, and one of them is an autobiography that I wrote. And it is like hundreds of words. When will I ever share that? I don't know. I don't even know why I did it. I think I did it because I wanted to make a video, but then I gave up, and now I have this like 400-word autobiography. Let me read you the last paragraph real quick. Actually, no. I'm gonna read you the first paragraph and the last paragraph. So, for the record, I'm 21 now. All right. So, who is Celestino Dooley? Hi, my name is Celestino Dooley. I'm a 19-year-old kid stationed in Orlando, Florida. I'm an artist, performer, producer, writer, lyricist, engineer, musician. I mean, about as many music titles as you can hold. Me as a person, though, I'm a big brother, firstborn, Christian Italian, fisherman, lover of Pokemon and bodies of water. I love going for drives and going for walks. I find a lot of my hobbies are hobbies because they keep me distracted from myself. Let me tell you how I got there. Let's just read it, guys. How about that? Let's just go into it, man. I was born on August 29th, 2002. Pretty awesome kid, I would say. And my parents say so anyways. I didn't cry much. I just sat there, really. I would watch my Pokemon and eat yams straight out of a can. And like cold yams, not even cooked. I had a pretty normal infancy growing up along with my little brother Declan. He's taller than me now. but he'll always be little. About the time of first grade, I would do what every other first grader would do: go to school, take spelling tests, play at recess, all that stuff. But something felt always off. Kids would make fun of me for things I didn't understand at the time. Kids would make fun of my weight, and I just didn't understand, honestly. I thought to myself, don't I look like all the other kids? Like, we all got arms, right? But as I'd come home from school every day, I would twitch really, really bad. My whole body would twist, and I'd throw my hands up in the air. For some reason, I could never stop making these weird faces, like I am now, that actually hurt to make. My muscles everywhere would go crazy. It wasn't until a few years later that my mom told me the reason you can't control your body is because you have Tourette syndrome. This really shocked my world. I mean, you're telling me I'm getting made fun of because I'm fat and now I have this extremely noticeable, incurable disability? I mean, sick joke, but I kept trying to live my life like every other kid. It was hard. It got very, very hard, but mom always told me that no matter what people say, you'll always be you, and that's perfect. Next paragraph. Skip forward a few years, and I'm in middle school, killing it actually. I got brought in as an apprentice by a professor of opera at Illinois Wesleyan in only 6th grade, only because I auditioned to be some bush for some play he overheard me singing. He took me in right at that moment. I'd rehearsed with college students at only 11 years old. The next 3 years really shaped who I was. I'd go to middle school and then go to the theater right after nearly every day, training and rehearsing and training and rehearsing. It was a lot. I also joined the track team and lost 30 pounds and joined the cross country team. I got pretty healthy. Middle school was great, and as I'm wrapping up my last semester of 8th grade, mom comes to me with an opportunity to go to one of the nation's best high schools. I mean, this high school was the best of the best in Illinois, but for some reason, change seemed so scary. A whole new school means all new friends, and it's a lot. After a while of considering, I decided to go, so I applied and I got accepted. Life was at its highest, but very quickly did it fall at its lowest. I was a little Robert Frost, man, a couple years ago, man. Look at this writing. I had these odd growths of skin on my feet, and neither my mom or I knew what they were. We go to a foot doctor, and they tell me that I have unknown growths of harmful tissue on my feet. And if they didn't get it removed, it could be really bad. So we went underway with the surgery, and from there, I was couch-ridden for 3 months. In my head, I called it the fall of Stino. Looking back on it now, I think, man, if only you knew what a real fall looked like. I was scared beyond belief as I knew that there was this whole new school that I was going to, and they're going to see me in a wheelchair and think I'm weird and think I'm gross and make fun of me. So yeah, I was wrong. They accepted me nearly right away, and I made so many friends. Some of these friends turned out to be best friends, girlfriends, business partners, the whole 9 yards. High school was great. I mean, I did nearly every extracurricular that existed at the school. Marching band, concert choir, concert band, madrigal choir, jazz choir, plays, Shakespeare, musical, court singers, all-male a cappella group that I became the leader of, class president, choreographer. My resume was packed. Now, I say that list not to boost my ego, but to draw your attention to the strain I was going through. I mean, yeah, I was told that by doing everything I had a better shot at a good college, but my head got bad. I wasn't happy. I wasn't happy with myself. I wasn't happy with my current relationship at the time, although I was so confused because she wasn't even doing anything wrong. I just wasn't happy. But I bet if you ask anyone at that time how I was doing, they would have said that he's doing great. Years of hard work and blah, 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 and then COVID hit. My entire senior year was about to be turned on its head. I'm about as social as the good Lord made them, So once all my social interactions and friends were stripped from me, it broke me. I cried on the floor nearly to the point of throwing up because I had just broken up with my girlfriend, and now I can't do anything outside of my parents' house. I get it. First world problems, but this broke me. It would, it broke me not because I couldn't see my friends. It broke me because that voice I've had in my head since I was getting made fun of in elementary school was at its loudest. And now I had nothing to quiet it down. Months went on in this unhealthy mental spiral as my emotions and thoughts kept getting worse and worse. I did my best, but nothing felt right. Sooner or later, school was back to being in person, and I was excited. I thought maybe now that I get to see people again, I'll be back to normal. Well, guess what, Celestino? You're wrong. People didn't solve anything for you. I didn't know this at the time. To combat this, I would wear super nice clothes to school and act confident. That didn't work. I would go to I would go to therapy, and that helped out a bit, but nothing changed. Soon enough, Mom took me to the doctor. She knew I had these issues and these thoughts. Maybe the doctor had something she could do. She went and we sat there, and Mom told her my sob story, and I just sat there awkwardly. The doctor gave me a sheet of paper with questions on it and told me to answer them honestly, so I went ahead and filled out her stupid test, and she went off with my mom to talk. An assistant came in and took the paper. Minutes later, the doctor came back and sat down in front of me. She looked at the paper and looked at me, paused, and asked, "How long have you been feeling this way?" I told her it's been all my life, really. Just got worse with COVID. She then asked how old I was. I said 18. The next sentence came out of her mouth turned out to be the sentence that changed my life. The doctor said, "Honey, people who score like you score, they don't make it to 18. I sat there, thinking about how much I'd been through at this point. How could I quit now? From then on, the rest is history. I finished high school, got accepted into my dream college, which is where I am now. I'm in my dream degree, music production. I have confidence like you couldn't imagine. I mean, if you told elementary school Celestino that this is what he'd be turning into, he would have never cried. He would have never felt bad about himself. He has friends, family, passions, interests, talent, love, opportunities. He has everything that he wanted in first grade. He just didn't know it'd take a bit of time. So yeah, just so you don't forget, my name is Celestino Dooley. I'm a 19-year-old kid stationed in Orlando, Florida. I'm an artist, performer, producer, writer, lyricist, engineer, musician. I mean, about as many music titles that you can hold. Me as a person, I'm a big brother, firstborn, Christian, Italian, fisherman, lover of Pokemon and bodies of water. I love going for drives and going for walks. I find a lot of my hobbies are my hobbies because they keep me distracted from myself. And just like the first grade Celestino would be so proud of college Celestino, just wait. Because college Celestino is already proud of the Celestino that makes his dreams his career. You should stick around and watch. I'm only getting better. Ladies and gentlemen, whoa. Whoa. I need to take a sip after that. Roll that up and smoke it, brother. What do you think about that, guys? Yeah. Yeah. I wrote that 10-22-22. Pretty insane. But that just goes to show what we were talking about earlier, guys. A bad thing can happen every single day, every week, every month, every year. But a good thing's just going to happen after it. Look at that, guys. Next in my notes, what do we got? We've got lists. First one on the list is my shopping list. Milk, Parmesan cheese, potatoes, sausage, energy drink. I'm a simple man. Um, Next we have media to consume. Now, I made this because it's like my little real life achievements. I have books to read, movies to watch, piano songs to learn, TV shows to watch, video games to finish. Books to read, I've got 1984 by George Orwell, Be Here Now by Ram Dass, Don't Give the Enemy a Seat at Your Table by Louis Giglio, Of Mice and Men by John Steinbeck, Six Steps to Songwriting Success by Jason Blum, Steve Jobs by Walter Isaacson, The Greatest, My Own Story by Muhammad Ali, The Soul of a Butterfly, Reflections on Life's Journey, also by Muhammad Ali, The Subtle Art of Not Giving a... The F Word is the word that comes after that, by Mark Manson, and War and Peace by Leo Tolstoy. Have I read any of those yet? No, because I hate reading. I hate reading. I'm probably never going to read those, but I like to be a little optimistic. Movies to watch, that list is too long. I don't watch movies at all, guys. I don't. This list is huge. This list is absolutely ginormous. And I haven't seen any of them. TV shows to watch, it's basically all anime. Like, I've already finished Attack on Titan and The Promised Neverland, Mob Psycho 100, Cowboy Bebop, Full Metal Alchemist. But, what are you going to do? Video games to finish, that's a big list too, but I've made my way through them. The next folder is ideas. Now, this is an interesting one. I've got some substance up in here. We've got tattoos, content ideas, wrestler names, and Stino thoughts. Let's start with the tattoos. These are ideas of tattoos I want for myself. So the first one is a piano wrapped around the ankle above the ball. What do we think about that? Seems a little feminine. Maybe I could put a masculine twist to it, like add like a piano with some creatine, but I don't know. Maybe I can change that up. I want the praying hands, the very simple, like this, like you know what I'm talking about. Probably get that on like my bicep or something, or not my bicep, but right here. Here's a weird one. I thought about this idea. You know what a Pokemon card looks like? I want a blank one. Okay, and what I mean by that is it doesn't have a Pokemon or anything. Like, it has all the info, like the HP, it has a couple moves, the energy cost, the design, but there's no Pokemon in it. It's like a blank Pokemon card. I thought that was kind of cool. The next one is a cross Italy rose design. This was a design that I made. I'll put it on screen right now. And I think it's awesome. It's got my favorite design of a cross on it with the piano, Italy, and then 3 roses, one for mom, dad, and my little brother. Cross on my back. Very standard. Not much explanation needs to go into that. And this last one is the one that I'm most realistically going to get. Is a sleeve of black okay, when I say black, not like I want them colored black. I don't want any color on my body. I only want it to just be black ink. I want a sleeve of roses, man. How freaking cool is that? I genuinely want a sleeve of budding roses. I love roses. I think they're the coolest looking thing ever. They're red, they're pretty, they're bold, they are sexy, I think they have an air of sophisticatedness to them. They're thorny, they're dangerous, they're cool. They personify maybe love, sophistication, passion. I think roses are the coolest thing, and I want to get a sleeve of roses. And the last The last one is a frog wearing a beret. I know what you're thinking. What the heck? Celestino. What on earth does that even mean, brother? Let me tell you a story. Frog wearing a beret. That sounds silly. That sounds stupid. But you have to understand that that tattoo has more meaning than any of the other tattoos I just named you. My college had this fair going on where all the successful graduates came back and got to talk with the students. And I got to go to this one panel, and you got to meet with one of the graduates at these tables in like groups of 5. And the one I wanted to meet got filled, so I had to go meet this other graduate that I didn't even know. I didn't know what he did. I just didn't care. So I sat down with no expectations, and I was just fascinated. He just started talking about all the stuff he's done, blah, blah, blah. So my mind was changed very quickly. And then he got into the story. Now, he was a older Indian man, so he had a great, just wise accent to him when he was telling the story. And this is what the story is. Check this out. He told us this once, and I don't think I haven't forgot it, and I don't think I ever will. The story starts in Paris, at the base of the Eiffel Tower. It is a race. There's a race today, and all of the frogs in Paris come by to race to the top of the Eiffel Tower. And the winner who touches the tip of the Eiffel Tower gets all the money in the world. So, the referee frog fires the gun in the air, and all the frogs start. And the frogs start climbing the Eiffel Tower. And the frogs climb, and the frogs climb, and the frogs fall. They fall on each other. They tumble down. They are not making it. The frog standbyers, the frog audience, they're watching, and they're watching the frog racers all fall to the ground and get back up and continue to race to the top of the Eiffel Tower, because if you touch the tip of the Eiffel Tower, you get all the money in the world. So the frogs are very passionate. The frogs are racing for financial freedom. Now, there are many different kinds of frogs at this race. And all the frogs are looking at these other frogs. Some frogs are saying, that frog has longer legs than I do, and he can jump farther. That frog says, that frog is smarter than me, and he can figure it out faster. Another frog says, that frog is stronger than me, and he can climb better. Every single frog is looking at the other frog and saying to themselves, they're better, I'm not. And they keep falling. Sooner or later, one frog makes it a little bit farther than all the other frogs. And every frog just stops and watches him. The audience stops cheering. The ref stops talking. The racers stop moving. And they watch this one frog. And without fail, rung by rung by rung, hop by hop by hop, this frog has not fallen once. He hasn't stopped, and he's not going to stop. And a couple of minutes passes by, and that frog is sitting at the very top of the Eiffel Tower, and he touches it. This frog touches the tip of the Eiffel Tower, and he slides back down. The audience is everywhere. They're going crazy. The racers, some are angry, some are excited for him, some don't know how to feel. The referee is excited. He fires the gun in the air. Everyone's happy. And the frog news reporters come to that frog. The frog news reporters pull the van up and they bring the camera out and the microphone, and they come up to the winning frog, the frog that touched the tip of the Eiffel Tower, and they start asking him, "Frog, how did you do this? How did you win? What were you thinking?" And the frog didn't answer. Weird. They kept asking him, "How did you do it? How did you win? What did you do? How did you train?" The frog, the winner, still did not answer. Everyone's confused now. And then over the confusion, you hear a small voice, "Wait, wait, 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 wait." And it's a frog in a suit. It's a frog in a suit. And the frog in the suit comes up to the reporter and says, "Please, please, I'm his manager. Please direct all questions to me." Everyone's like, "Well, why? Why? Why can't he talk? Why can't the winner answer the questions?" And the frog manager says to the news reporter, "I'll be answering the questions for my client because my client is deaf." That story changed my life. It's stupid, but funny enough, that story did something for me. It did a lot for me, actually. The frog that won was deaf. Now, what does that mean? It means stop listening to everybody around you if it's not something inherently positive. Stop listening to yourself when it's something that's not inherently positive. The deaf frog will win because every other frog was so occupied with what they were thinking about the other frogs. That one's smarter, that one's stronger, that one is cooler, that one's hotter. This pertains to everything. Women should stop comparing themselves to other people. Men should stop comparing their salaries to other men. Parents should stop comparing themselves to other parents. Right? Musicians should stop comparing themselves to other musicians. That one's personal. The deaf frog wins, and that's why I want to get that tattooed somewhere on me. Somewhere where I can hide it. None of these tattoos are going to be noticeable. They're all going to be above the elbow, except for the sleeve, obviously. But a frog wearing a beret. That's special to me. Up next, we have wrestler names. Now, this is an odd one. Let me take a sip of this hitter. And let me take a little bit of a stretch. Oh, man. Oh, yeah, that feels good. Ooh. Yeah, now we're cooking. I've been sitting for a while, guys. Feel the blood pumping in my body. Woo. Wrestler names. I have made a list of fictional wrestler names since I was in high school. It's not a very long list because only the best ones stay. Why did I start this? For no reason. There is no reason why I started this. I didn't start it to show people. I didn't start it to make something out of it. It is just for me. It's just a list of cool wrestler names that I came up with. So let's check them out together. First one, this is the OG, all right? This is the original one. This is the first one that I ever made. This is the ringleader. Chef Maestro Love Rocket. Bake that and eat it, brother. Chef Maestro Love Rocket. Chef Maestro Love Rocket is a passionate He's a passionate lover, but a passionate fighter. You know, he can cook you some lasagna and shove it down your butt at the same time. Chef Maestro Love Rocket. Next up, we have Birdman Boulder Fist. Birdman Boulder Fist is a man that is a bird, and he has 2 boulders for fists. Fearsome, fearsome foe. On the more of the intellectual side, we have PhD Destroyer. He beats his opponents with his brains. PhD, you know, like the thing that smart people get. And Destroyer, you know, the thing that destroys. In one man. And is that too much power? You could argue. You could argue that's a little too much power. PhD Destroyer. Up next is a classic. My personal favorite. Buzzcut Six-Pack, the Iron God. Add that up and show me your numbers. Buzzcut Six-Pack, the Iron God. Buzzcut Six-Pack, the Iron God is a man's man. Tales of when he was born, slowly after he came out of his mother's womb, was an unopened container of creatine. Buzzcut Six-Pack, the Iron God. Up next, we have Cool Man Big Arms. Rather simple, but a terrifying foe. He is a cool man and he has big arms. Cool Man Big Arms. Next wrestler, it is the Horse. And the Horse is quite literally just a horse. The only catch is he has a luchador mask on him that doesn't even fit. The Horse. And lastly, we have Manfred, the Monkey Man. Manfred, the Monkey Man, might seem like a simple foe, but Manfred, the Monkey Man, is just a really smart monkey with a little black belt on him. So yeah, that's my little list of wrestler names that I made for myself and no one else. I'd probably done one thing with this, and that was for a project senior year of high school. We had come up with a story or for English class, so I just used these names for it. And it was about how like some of these were they were all frat bros. It was pretty awesome. But yeah, Chef Maestro Love Rocket, Birdman. Let's do this. In the ring, we have Chef Maestro Love Rocket, Birdman Boulder Fist, PhD Destroyer, Buzzcut Six-Pack the Iron God, Cool Man Big Arms, The Horse, Manfred the Monkey Man. Today, WWE. Sponsored, not licensed. Check that out. Roll that up and smoke it, brother. The last note on the ideas folder is a note called Stino Thoughts. This is a fun one. I haven't added to this in a long time. Last time I added to this was 2 years ago, February 1st, 2022. Just a little list of just things that I think about, and I think are either funny or an interesting thought. First one, okay? Check this out. You can speak out loud, but what's the opposite of out loud? In loud, which is really just thinking. You didn't catch that? All right. You can speak out loud, so you can speak out loud. But come on, think about it. What is the opposite of out loud? In loud. And if it's the opposite of speaking out loud, then what's the opposite of that? Well, that's just thinking. I don't mean to confuse anybody here, but I am Fat Bill Nye. All right, brother? Up next. What the hell do turkeys do in the spring? Where do those brothers go? Hmm? Does anybody know? Because they're around a lot in the fall and the winter. Where is their vacation home that they all go to in the spring? Huh? Here is a thinker. And obviously these thoughts just came naturally to me, and naturally I wrote them down on this little note. If I was required to perform a vasectomy on Godzilla, I would have to use some heavy duty hedge clippers. There might be something wrong with my brain. If I had to perform a vasectomy on Godzilla, I would use some heavy duty hedge clippers. Weird thought, but am I wrong? Huh? Am I wrong? Is that not... Does that not make sense? Hedge clippers? Vasectomy? Godzilla? I believe you would have to. Huh? So check this one out. This next one has a little bit of participation to it. Say Israel is real. Israel is real. Say it. Okay. So you just said it, hopefully. Israel is real. Now say it one more time. You have just said the same word twice. Huh? Yeah, I know. Let me hit it with you again. Israel is real. Now that's split up, right? But if you were to say it fast, Israel is real. Brother, you just said the same word. Little mind games for you. And the last one I have here is relish. Relish is just freedom salsa. Much like the imperial system compared to the metric system, right? Like feet, you could have meters, but meters and freedom units is just feet. Relish is just freedom salsa, because salsa comes from our lovely, beautiful friends down in the South Americas, in Spain, right? I would hope so, or else I'm incredibly racist. Relish, I like to believe, is probably from... no one would make something that disgusting other than a white person, White people are really good at that. Usually it's the people that have a bit more culture to them make the best food. White people would make relish. I would like to think perhaps it's German or Polish. But because it's an American thing, I believe relish is just freedom salsa. Huh? Sit on that one and try not to get a brain freeze. Those are my notes, guys. Huh? Check that out. The other notes I have are just lyrics. I wonder if there's any funny lyrics from old songs that I'm embarrassed about. Oh, yeah, there's some lyrics in here. Oh, yeah, some of these are embarrassing. Oh, man. Just looking at some of these old lyrics I wrote down thinking they were cool or witty, and man, it's just embarrassing. The oldest one is called My Name. Verse 1. Raised and born in El Paso, Illinois, just another chubby, witty Italian boy. The skills to thrill on the stage I'll employ. Been at this game for too long, life's no toy. I grew up on after school fights. Bullies make fun because I repeat myself twice. I think that's a bar though. Talking about my stutter. I grew up on after school fights. Bullies make fun because I repeat myself twice. Back to Loserville. I put my trust in love and I put my trust in Christ. Cover my insecurities with plenty of ice. This is embarrassing. Who the heck did I think I was? Celestino Edward Dooley's the name. And finding love, that's been the game. For 18 years, I'm still sitting here with my heart on the keys and a face full of tears. I grew up on games and toys, but was never given the chance to be a little boy. Growing up, all I had was my voice, so I better use it to leave expectations destroyed. Gosh, who did I think I was, dude? This is what I'm talking about growing up, guys. This was only 3 years ago. I wrote this when I was 18. That's just... That's just wrong. That's just wrong. What else we got? Some more stupid, sad stuff. Oh, here's a rap that I made. Oh, this is gonna be good. Cause I'm a doctor of beats. I work on my patients with mental persuasions. I got no patience for patients with zero syncopations. Rather work on a man with rhythmic lacerations than a man who can point at a map and name all the nations. Did you hear my Eminem Shakespearean prowess in that? Let me hit it with you again. Cause I'm a doctor of beats. I work on my patients with mental persuasions. I got no patience for patients with zero syncopations. Rather work on a man with Cause I'm a doctor of beats. I work on my patients with mental persuasions. I got no patience for patients with zero syncopations. Rather work on a man with rhythmic lacerations than a man who can point at a map and name all the nations. I'm the modern day Eminem Shakespeare combo. So just save it, please. I see you're racing to make reservations, sitting adjacent to Father Creation, Father of Nations. I don't make the rules, look, I'm just copying and pasting. Are you debating if I should rating on my splendid presentation? Man, I'm a loser, man. I am a loser. Jeez, man. Everything else above that is actually good lyrics, like songs. Next up was actually my first ever song that I made called Malo para mí. No sé cómo lo sé, pero eres muy mala para mí. I don't know what I'd do for a girl like you to love a guy like me. 'Cause I've been tripping over my own shoes to show you a good time. 'Cause I got a little chica mala to waste my rhymes. Whoa, mala para mí. Yeah. Jeez Louise, man. I wrote that February 26, 2022. And the next was a song that I just wrote, for a project at school. And yeah, everything else was just actual songs that I made. Pretty cool. Yeah, guys, that's what's in my notes list, man. That's what's in my notes list. Just a lot of crap. Not really. I mean, the wrestler names and the autobiography and stuff like that, but My shopping list, don't forget, milk, Parmesan cheese, potatoes, sausage, and energy drinks. Only the most important things, would argue. And the last thing I want to talk about here, kind of on the same topic of music, but a little just off theme. Hold on. The last topic here. First of all, before I continue after this stretch, oh gosh, I got home late last night, ladies and gentlemen. Was working with a client, making some money. I need that check. There's a show that came out that I've been seeing all over my TikTok and Instagram, and it's called Has Been Hotel. Now, this is nothing that I would ever watch, because it's rather lewd, kind of more adult themes and very sexual. It's just not for me. But I'll be damned if I said the music isn't good. There's some great songs in there. I'm not saying all of them are good, but I think it has great production. Really, really creative. I think the singers are some of the best singers I've heard in an animated thing. I mean, wow. It's so much more than just plain old good singing. It's plain old good singing with some freaking character to it, and that's rare, Look, I would like to think I'm a professional when it comes to the vocal arts. I mean, come on. I mean, yeah. I feel like I am right in saying that you can be good. You could be an amazing singer, like a perfect singer. I really wouldn't care unless there was some character to it. Look at Louis Armstrong, right? Hello, Dolly, right? Hello, Dolly. Like he's got like it's not like a beautiful operatic, just God sent voice. But I think his voice is better than some of the people I've met because it's got some character to it. It's got some beautiful character to it that you can't find anywhere else, and there is some beauty within that. Rose fire, I'm not good at it, but dude, I mean, I think he has a beautiful voice, but objectively, it's not a beautiful voice. It is a smoker voice, but I think it's wonderful. And the singers in Has Been Hotel do just that. There's this one song. It's about this dad who's like the king of the underworld, singing to his daughter about like why she should like be why she should be more involved or something stupid. But the way he sings it is just on the words he emphasizes. It's so much more than just looks like you could use some help from the big boss of hell himself. Like it's not just straightforward. It's like got some character to it. Like he's like, looks like you could use some help from the big boss of hell himself. Like he adds a little bit of character to it, and I think that's crucial. All these other songs have just the same thing. Would I ever watch this? Absolutely not. I don't think it's good story wise. I don't think it's good. It's not a good story. It's just not a great message. It's about hell and these people and it's a lot of lewd content and very adult themes. It's just not for me. I don't watch that kind of stuff. I don't enjoy that. But I'd be lying to say, because look, music is music. You cannot tell me that the music is just objectively good, right? Like it's really good. Something else, just unnecessary cursing. And I'm not one of those like Marilyn Manson hating like Facebook moms from the early 2000s. I don't mind cursing. Like, look at my wall right now. I have Tyler the Creator, ASAP Rocky, Eminem. I have Tupac and Biggie right here. I mean, obviously, I'm not I'm not against cursing in music or cursing in general. Um, I do believe that cursing is just a lack of vocabulary to an extent. It's a bit of a pretentious thing to say. Um, but there is a way to do it. It's the same thing with comedy. A comedian that uses the F word over and over again is not funny. In fact, it's rather uncomfortable. Just because it's like, dude, just come up with something clever. Because their punchline is just cursing. Like, oh, I went to the store today and blah, blah, blah. Man, what the, like, it's not clever. Comedy is supposed to be kind of clever or funny or whatever. But people who just curse, it's just not funny. There's nothing creative to it. Again, it's just a lack of something to say. And the same thing happens with this from the clips I've seen of this show. There's just a lot of scenes where it's just like F word after F word after F word and just curse, and it's just like this isn't funny, or this isn't cool. This dialogue is actually worse. It actually hits a lot less hard because of all this unnecessary cursing. And again, I'm not a Marilyn Manson hating mom from the 2000s. I'm not saying cursing should be banned. I think a good amount of cursing could be supplemental to something. Would I ever curse in any of my creativeness or media that I put out? No, other than like the occasional damn. I mean, that's about it. I don't go any more than that because again, you lose a bit of sophistication. You lose a little bit of sophistication. And the thing is, right? I work with a lot of artists, right? And a lot of them are rappers. And then these rappers get pissed when venues don't let them come and play or come and perform. And why? Because their music is explicit. And again, I'm not saying that their music shouldn't be explicit. I believe in you should be able to make music about whatever you want, however you want, no matter what it is. No matter what it is. Even if I disagree with what you're saying with my entire body, mind, and soul, that is the definition of freedom, right? Is there should not be any stops to it, right? That is what art is. And if you try to put a filter on art, then that's not art anymore. Sounds pretentious, but that's true. That's not art. Art is not limited. But a little bit of limitation can actually make something better. It's too much cussing, man, in that show from the clips that I've seen. It's not fun. It just kind of gets boring and you feel awkward. And it's just, they think they're doing something funny or clever with it. And it's just not. It's just awkward and not placed well. But again, we've got Eminem and Tupac up there. I mean, dude, Eminem's the king of cussing. I mean, he was such a controversial artist because all he did was cuss, which was nothing new back then, but for some reason Eminem was like the martyr for it. His cussing in his songs made his songs special, unique. You knew an Eminem song when you listened to it, man. You know an Eminem song when you listen to it. And it's because he doesn't just throw it out willy-nilly. Does he cuss a lot? Yeah, you bet your two little butt cheeks he does. But again, he finds a way to place it well where it's a bit more tasteful than tasteless. There's an art, that's an art within itself, yeah? I'm loving listening to the Has Been Hotel songs, but some of them just too much cussing, and the show itself again just not not my cup of tea. Rather lewd and just says too much cussing. It's just not. It's just not fun. It's just you're you know at that point you're just beating a dead horse. And you've kind of lost the touch. And I feel like the people who might enjoy that, I don't know. Who am I to judge, man? I mean, I'm the guy who likes Pokemon, right? I'm the guy who likes Pokemon. So, but yeah, guys, it's an hour and a half and 30 seconds. That's usually how much I record. I think this was a fun episode, guys. We got kind of real. I'm probably gonna title it reflecting off of that, like getting real, or whatever. Because look, I mean, not every episode is gonna be funny and full of laughter. Sometimes we have to get real, and that's what I did this podcast. That's what I did this episode, was talked about some very real stuff about mental health and depression, what I'm dealing with, what you're probably dealing with, what people are dealing with. I don't know you if you're listening to this. I don't know who's listening to this, but I do know that you're dealing with something like that, right? We all are, and hopefully that can help. Just seeing that insight of someone else who deals with it, and maybe you can reflect and relate to it. Yeah. So yeah, bit of a more real episode, but we need that sometimes. So I hope you guys enjoyed. I'm gonna go to the cafe and edit this now. I'm gonna eat something before I go. I'm freaking hungry. Make myself some fish, rice, and butter. But yeah, thank you guys for listening. Something Cafe is on Apple Podcasts, is on Spotify, is on YouTube. The video is on Spotify. It's also on YouTube, obviously, but it is on Spotify. What else? If you use Spotify, do me a big favor, guys. Rate the podcast 5 stars. Go to the actual podcast page. Under the title of the podcast, there's a little star icon. Tap that. Rate it 5 stars for me, will you? I greatly appreciate that. Leave a comment on the YouTube. Any questions you want me to answer in the next episode? Any questions, leave them on Spotify. You can also do that too. Let me know, guys. What do you want to know? What do you want to talk about? Who do you want me to have on as a guest? Do you want to come on? Let me know. Do you have a friend that wants to come on? Let me know. Share it with your friends. Share it with your family. Let them know. Love you guys. And thank you. Thank you for coming by the Something Cafe.